Welcome to Valley News Live at 10. I'm Justin Meddy.
And I'm Stacy Van Dyke. We begin tonight in Minto, one of many towns across the region with flooding concerns.
Valley News Team's Nashay Taylor is live with a look at the conditions there. Nashay.
Yeah, Stacy, Justin, as you mentioned, I'm here in Minto where flooding is a big concern in this area. If you could take a look behind me, there's tons of water in this area. I don't know if you can see that far behind me, but there's a pole that says what street it is, and the water is up there pretty high. Actually, this water goes all the way around the south side of the neighborhood. It's kind of like a loop. If you go all the way around, there's water everywhere. Now, earlier today, I went on a ride-along with the Minto Fire Department in their Humvee through the south side of town. While on that ride, you can see water was just reaching remarkable levels. I could see water that was almost as high as some of the mailboxes. Several homes also have sandbags piled up right in front for protection. But although this seems like a lot, the Minto Fire Chief says this isn't as bad as previous years.
It's been worse in 2004 and back further than that, so we've seen a lot worse than this.
The Minto Fire Chief said the community really stepped up today to help a lot of people around here that are dealing with this situation. The Minto High School students came to the fire department to fill sandbags. They filled about 1,500 sandbags for the community members. Now, not only is the community here dealing with the flooding, but now that temperatures are dropping, they're going to deal with ice. Actually, there's plenty of ice right here. I don't know if you can see it in front of me, but these roads are pretty slick from the water that's, just making its way up through the drier part of the road. But, these individuals here, they'll just have to be patient. Hopefully this water can, drain out somehow and they can try and be safe and deal with the situation the best way they know how. In Minto, Nashay Taylor, Valley News Live.
Thanks, Nashay. For much more on the flood fight, our team has been all across the region today trying to bring you the very latest. In Valley City, the mayor says they scrambled all weekend trying to protect the town from the Cheyenne River, which rose much faster than anticipated. The city declared a flood emergency, started building flood walls. Temporary levees are also being built, and they expect to have those finished tomorrow.
If we're in a race with the water, we're ahead of it right now, and hopefully that continues.
Owners of an iconic Northern Valley restaurant say they're counting their blessings tonight as the floodwaters haven't found their way inside the nearly 60-year-old business. Owners of the pizza shop tell us they remain closed as they continue to monitor the situation.
It hurts, but it is what it is. I guess I would take the lack of business with if I don't have to deal with water in my building. So.
They say they'll post on their Facebook page when they plan to reopen, hopefully later this week.
The Sortley Bridge on Demers Avenue in Grand Forks closed today because of the rising waters in the Red River. The Point Bridge on Minnesota Avenue closed yesterday. The Kennedy Bridge on Gateway Drive is expected to stay open unless river levels hit 52 feet, which is quite high and is not forecast to happen. A bit of good news here. Good news in Crookston. The Red Lake River is now slowly going back down. According to city officials, it crested at 27.7 feet, third highest mark on record there. The Crookston Sports Center has been set up as a makeshift shelter for folks who need a safe, warm place to go. And the sandbags are now in place to protect home thanks to a lot of work done over the weekend. City officials say emergency management will continue there 24/7 until the river falls below 20 feet, a much safer level, which could take until Thursday.
And take a look at this. East Grand Forks high schoolers traveled to Fisher today to help with sandbagging. The principal tells us he heard about the need for sandbaggers and asked for volunteers over the intercom at the start of the day. He says he expected maybe 20 students would be willing to do the hard work, but many more wound up braving the cold to help.
It's amazing. When I called the guard, I said we could maybe get 20 volunteers, just guessing, and I think we had about 150 show up. So it's been so awesome to see everybody come together to help us out.
What would really help out a lot of these people is some dry days. For more on that, here is First Alert Storm Team Chief Meteorologist Hutch Johnson for the forecast. Hutch.
Justin, thanks so much. Good evening, everyone. The flag's flapping in Grand Forks as we have been dry for the majority of the day. And this view from the dike in East Grand Forks, so you could see the water has been creeping up as we have gone through the last 24-hour period in Grand Forks as that rise continues there. Moderate to major flooding happening now, and our concerns for the worst of the flooding going to be in our northern communities and out west in the Cheyenne River Valley, as well as a few other tributaries. We do have some significant rain on the way, and I do want to point out and just to let people know clearly what it is that we're watching for. A few of you have contacted me tonight and says we thought the crest was over in Crookston as the water has risen up. For this event, it has, for the rain that happened last week. But there's more rain on the way for next week, and it's likely we may see some areas that get a double crest. One from this past weekend and one from what's coming Friday and into Saturday. Will it be even more? It's very hard to say, but we are watching a big rainmaker in the forecast for the weekend ahead. Look how close things are sitting right now. The good news is we have some time for this water from this past system to work its way through these channels from Crookston into the northern portion of the Red River Valley as we go through the upcoming week, because for the most part we are dry. But Oslo will sit in major flood stage for the majority of the week and into the weekend, and many in our northern counties will have this as a concern. So I'll have hour by hour details on the rest of your week and what we're watching for next week and where the greatest amount of precipitation is likely to fall as it stands right now in just a few minutes.
All right, thanks, Hutch.
And with the weather the way it is, it's a good idea to keep the VNL weather app handy for forecasts right at your fingertips. You can download and use it for free. Just search VNL weather in the App Store today.
New tonight, the new elementary school in West Fargo will be called Meadowlark Elementary. The school board first narrowed a top 7, then a top 3 names out of nearly 350 submissions. The school is being built near the Rocking Horse Farm neighborhood off Veterans Boulevard.
North Dakota's longest serving state senator announced today he will resign following a report that he traded scores of text messages with the man in jail on child pornography charges. We don't know what was in those texts. Republican Ray Holmberg, who rose to become one of the state's most powerful lawmakers, a career spanning 46 years, said he will resign effective June 1st. His term was scheduled to end November 30th, and he had already announced that this would be his last term. Governor Doug Burgum said in a statement tonight that he supports Senator Holmberg's decision to resign. A well-known criminal defense attorney based in Sioux Falls will lead Attorney General Jason Ravensburg's defense team in his impeachment trial. Michael Butler will represent Ravensburg. That trial is scheduled to begin June 21st. He has represented defendants in a number of high-profile cases. Ravensburg struck and killed a man who was walking along Highway 14 near Highmore back in September of 2020. He later pleaded no contest to misdemeanor traffic charges. Neither held him criminally responsible for the death.
Legacy Toys at West Acres Mall put out a call to the public to help them find a stolen giraffe. 3 people were caught on video taking the large stuffed animal, which greets guests at the door of the toy store. Fargo police say that giraffe is valued at $1,200, which would classify this theft as a felony level crime. One of the 3 was also seen dragging a stuffed unicorn out of the store as the trio ran away. Several people reported seeing that giraffe in various places all around town this weekend. Legacy Toys is asking anyone with information to contact Fargo police. And new tonight, a Moorhead family has a new home after a special dedication by Habitat for Humanity. The Castillo family struggled for years living in a mobile home they say wasn't suited for their family. Single mom Roxanne contributed more than 250 sweat equity hours building her new home and volunteering for Habitat. And she'll repay the cost of the home through an income-based mortgage, all in the name of taking care of her children, one of whom is wheelchair-bound.
Better future for me, my kids, and seeing them to grow in a better environment, a healthier state of mind.
This is Habitat's 67th home in Cass and Clay counties. They tell us they're proud to have been able to build this home despite historic increases in the cost of materials.